Okay. So apparently I'm having a little bit of trouble, so this is going to be the best stream. Um, it might be a little janky, but excuse me. When I tested it earlier, it was fine. Apparently now it is not. But anyway, that being said, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Associated Guest. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. And today, it's a very Nuxanor day. Today we'll get into a few things. We're going to get into Trump keeps winning. Hasan keeps throwing himself and potentially others under the bus. He's flailing a lot like Iran. Imagine that. And we get into similarities of so-called conservatives who are turning against the president because of Iran. You'll see that they have one thing pretty much in common. We'll see what that is.
Was desperately getting told that Donald Trump's control of the United States is slipping. Everyone hates him now. He has no influence. Everything's splitting apart. We're getting invaded and conquered by Islamists and communists. Well, I have fantastic news. Today we have to talk about absolute massive Donald Trump W's over the communists and Islamists. So, you know, if you were expecting bad news today, I am sorry to disappoint your depressive ass. All right, fantastic stuff happened, and I am here to talk about it in the least homosexual way possible. And, you know, I got a comment asking me a very solid question. Why do you make that joke? Why do you not want to cover news in homosexual ways? Do you hate gay men? Do I hate gay men? Only if they're having sex with other men, obviously. Lock in, boys and girls. Crazy deep dive to talk about.
Real quick. Fired up, ready to go. It's time to take Texas back. They're backing this guy. To which Stephen Miller said, the Democrats made history in Texas by nominating their first transgender Senate candidate. To which they said, shut up, you ugly fuck. And Krasenstein thinks that's a flex. It's not. One, the official account of either party shouldn't do such things. I know that Trump does things, but it doesn't mean we should just let everybody be vulgar as far as politicians go, because we get a lot of all right and all that shit going on. But I will agree, this guy looks like French Stewart is auditioning for Dr. Evil, okay? I will always think this. He is not an attractive man, okay? And every time he goes on TV, it reminds me of, come on, I'm hip, I'm cool, ducka, 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 ho. It reminds me of Dr. Evil, okay? And now, if only we had a little one of these. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because it just happened to be on my feed when I kicked up X. Continuing on with Lord Nuxanor.
Very exciting stuff. The Donald is absolutely
I agree, very exciting
dominating
stuff.
every single election in the country. All right, we have never seen anything like this before, ever. All right, because currently the right wing, especially the far right, as a lot of people like to call normal human people that are against the idea of importing rapists from the third world, are absolutely dominating the public culture. Literally, unironically, a complete and utter total cultural domination. The lukewarm rhino Republicans that were out there being like, well, actually, I really like every million Indians that come into the country. It makes me very excited. Well, fantastic news for everyone that's not those guys. They're losing. The Donald endorsed 9 for the Senate and won 9 for the Senate. He endorsed 101 for the House and won 101 for the House. He endorsed 8 for governor and won 8 for governor. Every single Republican that he endorsed won their primary. Every single one. This is
And I will say that that's all well and good. Will they win the election? That's the biggest thing. He can endorse them all he wants. He can change the Republican Party all he wants, if that's even what this is doing, okay? However, if he doesn't win a real election, it doesn't mean shit. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, not shit talking, just pointing out the obvious, okay? Primaries, they can be powerful, but if you don't win the regular election, all you've done is knock out a bad candidate who could probably just run again if they really wanted to. Let's be honest.
unprecedented unprecedented. Now, speaking of unprecedented, we have to talk about the Iran situation because something insane happened. If Iran surrenders, admits their navy is gone, resting at the bottom of the sea, and their air force is no longer with us, and if their entire military walks out of Tehran, weapons dropped, hands high, each yelling, I surrender, while wildly waving the representative white flag, and if their entire remaining leadership signs all necessary documents of surrender,
If they lick my balls.
their defeat to the great power and force of the magnificent USA, the failing New York Times, the China Street Journal, the corrupt and now irrelevant CNN, and all other members of the fake news media will headline that Iran had a masterful and brilliant victory over the United States of America. It wasn't even close. The Democrats and media have totally lost their way. They've gone absolutely crazy. President DJT, true.
The Democrats, look. The Democrats, while yes, it is right there, it's just a letter off. That's all it is. It's a letter off. Come on, man. It's like playground. You could do better than that.
So he made this tweet, and
has.
a lot of people are talking about it for very similar reasons, because no one's falling for this. He lied to us. All right, so he said, based on possible bad weather conditions tomorrow, we will be having our cabinet meeting at the White House, and we'll be postponing the cabinet trip to Camp David. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Now, the weather was not bad. There was no possible bad weather. This is a lie, and this is the Donald doing his classic nefarious Donald manipulation techniques that we've grown to know and love. Now, a lot of people hate that he does this. I actually don't. I think that he does these tweets as some sort of public policy. He needs to give some sort of obvious excuse as to why he's not doing a thing, and knowingly not giving the real reason for it. The real reason for this probably is because Trump doesn't trust someone in that White House. Whether it's someone leaking information to the enemy, as we know that there is a mole that we have been investigating. Many people, like Tucker Carlson, has been served letters. People from the CIA have acknowledged that they are monitoring him and monitoring his calls now. So we know that that's happening. Either it's a leaker or it's someone who's working with the enemy to assassinate him. Who knows? I don't. And Donald Trump does not want to tell us. But this is fucking crazy, by the way, for anyone paying attention, because there was no bad weather. I'm just saying it's a little bit fishy and suspicious. Now, being
Donald Trump lied because the word on the street is there's a leaker in the White House and they're trying to figure out who. So they said they were going to Camp David for a cabinet meeting, and then he said he wasn't because of bad weather, but there wasn't bad weather. So he lied, but perhaps with purpose. And it's not on anything truly important. It's just clearly like, hey, we're having a meeting here. Hey, we're having a meeting not here, but over here where we originally were. I'm not going to lie, I've used this tactic.
That Donald Trump is completely and utterly dominating Iran, despite the fact that the Democrats are ruthlessly rooting for the rapist pedophiles in charge of Iran to continue raping goats and children as much as they can, because Democrats love child rape. It's their favorite thing, actually. I don't know if you're aware. They love doing that. They love it so much. That's why they all get donations from Jeffrey Epstein and open the border to child sex traffickers and import rapists and pedophiles. They must love that shit. Otherwise, I can't possibly understand it. Now, the Donald, who's absolutely dominating in the negotiation battlefield because we have completely militarily and economically destroyed Iran, Iran is turning the internet back on. It was one of Trump's demands, and it seems like it's happening. It's being turned back on across Iran. 88% of Iran currently has internet. And for the record, yes, it is censored. Yes, they can't access everything, but this is so much better than the media blackout that they've been under for, I think, 3 months. 3 months of absolute internet blackout. Complete and utter insanity. Finally, that's getting turned on. And of course, the left is like, no, don't give human rights to the people or something. You know, the Trump scrapped his Camp David meeting, ordered the entire cabinet back to the White House. Something suspicious.
You just watched Pinocchio again, and the donkey scene hit so hard. Different after the files. Yeah, it really does.
This is going on. Rubio says deal is one word away, 90% complete. Trump is holding the hammer, and he pinned the Arab world against Iran, which happened. Everyone seems completely stunned by the deal. All right, the deal that Trump is asking for is not this little, okay, we'll go back to what Obama wanted. No. They've been begging for that for a very long time. Anyone that thinks this is a capitulation on the orange man's behalf, in my opinion, is completely and utterly psyoped by the retards. Trump has a plan, and he is foraging forward, and he actually has some sort of idea and visualization of what he wants the world to look like when he's done. He's reshaped the entire global order, all right? He basically put a wedge between us and NATO and the UN, based as fuck. Fuck the UN and fuck NATO.
Agreed.
And he also simultaneously liberated Venezuela. We're getting oil from there. Iran is crap. All right, China can't get oil from there. China now is buying oil from us. He's just basically reshaped the entire standard world order. He has some sort of idea, and he's not taking any
Which is
shit from
incredibly
anybody.
based.
You know, Israel's telling him to keep bombing them, and he's like, no, he has some sort of alternative plan.
What? Trump's not doing exactly what Israel says? Let's hear that one more time for the cheap seats.
No, Israel's telling him to keep bombing them, and he's like, no, he has some sort of alternative plan. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have traitors and retards like Joe Kent from counterterrorism who quit like completely shamefully, saying we just have to stop the war right now and just leave and cut our losses. And he's like, no. Obviously he has an idea, and I trust that. All right, so I'm not going to fall into the camp of the complete dipshit neocon saying, no, we must bomb the fuck out of them now. And I'm not falling for the propaganda of the other side saying, no, Iran is winning. You have to be a complete retard.
Which
to
is,
think Iran
yeah,
winning.
both of those
Now,
points are completely
Donald
stupid.
dropped this one in middle of the night, as he does.
You know, I'm knocking some of these Democrats. They're really like dumb people. And I said, you know, they should be called Democrats. It's only a one-letter change.
True.
Why would you
I think
make
Put
this
a
video?
U in.
He's so right.
They're Democrats.
Literally, fire, Mr. President. You have roasted them and destroyed them with memes. And on the ballots. All right, so just to understand, there is zero doubt that Donald Trump is in complete and total control of the Republican Party. He beat every single Republican in every single state with his endorsement. Remember how everyone was screaming and yelling, crying and bitching to Thomas Massey?
And I've heard some things about Ken Paxton. I'm not sure how to feel about him, but I am going to investigate them further. Some kind of allegations. You know, with these people, there's allegations for everything. Memes. Anyway, sorry.
He got his election
We're just reading the
stolen
chat on that
because
one.
the Jews paid for his opponent or something. Bro, every single Trump endorsement won. All of them. And the complete dumb
Which, again,
fucks are just
is-
falling for the slop again.
Which again is 100% fine. I'm great with someone winning and being happy that they win, sure. But can they win the election? That's the big question we have to ask. And again, if you're down with what's going on, this is the question that you know you're hoping that's a yes.
And just to understand, John Cornyn, this retard, he was like one of these open borders, retard rhinos, anti-based Republicans that was voting against the SAVE Act and all this shit. And he just endorsed the other guy, and he lost miserably, completely miserably. This is an incumbent. He's been in office for like a decade, and it's over. It's just over. Trump's like, you know what? Fuck you. He picked the other guy, and it's over.
Again, this was one of the best. I just said Tarrant was one of the best Cornyn counties in the preliminary. This county was even better, okay, for Cornyn. Cornyn beat Paxton here solidly in the preliminary. But again, looking at the early vote
But what
right
happened?
here.
But then on the other hand, if people really are against what a lot of the things that Cornyn has done, then they would have voted for the other guy or not voted at all anyway, and it would have gone blue anyhow. So really, if you really stop and think about it, yes, it could go either way, but more than likely it's going to go the way that he wants it to. Let's just be real honest.
Paxton's absolutely trouncing him.
How'd that happen?
So, right away.
So this was like a staunch district for Cornyn, and then Trump was like, absolutely not, and then boom, complete landslide. 2/3 of the vote went to the other guy. Like, bro, people are, oh, Trump is losing control of MAGA. Bro, Trump is MAGA, and you know what MAGA stands for? Make Africans go away. That's right. It's
That's
the
so
mass
fucked up.
deportation party. Trump is not going to be
Illegal.
around to realize
Illegals.
it. I know it. He's going way too weak on the
Just
deportation,
illegal
if you
ones.
ask me. But the next fucker is going to come in, and that dude's going to go crazy. And it's going to happen. As it happens right now, I am super happy with the reforming that we're seeing in the Republican Party. The Republican Party is not going to be a party of retards and limp-dicked pussies that are just going to sit there and get trampled by the third world anymore. And if Trump wants them out, they're going to leave. But the polls said differently. Well, Vice President J.D. dropped a bar on that one.
Polls show that a majority of D.C. residents don't support the Guard here. So what's your message to the majority of D.C. residents?
God, just look at him. He's just like, I should be the one that people are asking questions. Yes. I don't know why I'm making him sound more like Plankton and Dr. Evil. But, anyway.
I'm highly skeptical that a majority of D.C. residents don't want their city to have better public safety and more reasonable safety standards within Washington, D.C. I don't know what poll you're talking about. Maybe the same polls that said Kamala Harris would win the popular vote by 10 points.
Yeah, so all the polls that are saying
Yeah.
that, the polls are saying that Trump is losing control of the Republican Party. Yeah, those might be the same polls that said Kamala Harris was going to be president of the United States. Now, Ken Paxton, this guy just won his primary.
I'll support President Trump's America First agenda and finally secure our nation's elections by passing the Save America Act.
There it is. But where's John Cornyn? Why didn't John Cornyn do that? Now, there's so much more interesting information about this. Like, for example, did you know that John Cornyn, the retard that just lost his election, was funded by the leading Jewish American organization and AIPAC and the RJC and all these other Jewish groups? You mean to tell me that AIPAC can't just handpick elections and just win all of them? You mean to tell me that AIPAC actually has next to no power in comparison to the word of Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, most popular politician in the country by a landslide? You mean to tell me that the reason why Thomas Massey lost had nothing to fucking do with the Jews? Just because he fucking sucked? He was a schizo? We'll talk about him in a bit because he's been crashing out on the timeline. But I am just saying, all right, if AIPAC truly controlled America, then this dude would have won his election. And he did it because Trump voted for the other guy, which he should have because this guy fucking sucks. All right, just to be clear. Ken Paxton wins Republican primary runoff 62-37. That is not even close, by the way. That is like not even close. And the Donald to dance on the ashes of his opponents magnanimously, I might add. Congratulations to Ken Paxton on such a tremendous win, and to John Cornyn for having a strong and powerful race, but more importantly, having a truly great career. What a magnanimous guy. John will remain my friend for a long time to come, as we both watched Ken become a fantastic common-sense senator, one who is respected by all. His opponent, Alfred E. Newman, might be the worst Texas candidate I've ever seen. A strong, open borders advocate, weak on crime, believes there are 6 genders, is insulting to Jesus Christ, will never support the military, was a big mask wearer until recently, and is a vegan who dislikes meat. Oh, God. Not exactly a good way to be if you want to win an election in Texas. Jasmine Crockett, a very low IQ individual who has no relation to the legendary frontiersman.
I don't even think that she's actually low IQ. I think she's just playing one on TV because it'll make her base think that she's based. I don't know. Jury's still out on that one. I don't know. It's hard to tell anymore. It's hard to tell if people are actually this stupid or if they're just playing stupid or if they went full retard and actually became.
Davy Crockett, who would have been a far better choice for the Democrats. I will do some nice, big, beautiful rallies for Ken in Texas. Texas will be fun. God bless America. Bro, dude, we have the GOAT.
That's the dumbest ending.
So many people are complaining that he doesn't do all
like he's got to smoke weed or something.
I'm so happy with the way the culture in our country is evolving. Can I just say we're living at a time where believing in 6 genders, insulting Jesus Christ, not supporting the military, being a mask wearer, and being a vegan, like these are actual strikes against him in our culture today. That didn't exist in 2020. In 2020, those would have been positives. And right now, they are each one an ultimate negative that each one as a standalone would lose him his election. Understand, bro. So James Tallarico is terrified. He is going to be running in the midterms against Ken Paxton, it seems. Ken Paxton is the most corrupt politician in America. He embodies the broken system we're running against. It's time to come together. The people versus Ken Paxton. Well, Ken Paxton won. All right, and he's hopefully going to wipe the floor with you, too. Now, James Tallarico, for those of you understanding, he is a very interesting character. He is running for Senate in Texas, claiming to be a Christian, while
kind of awful.
simultaneously having some really interesting, albeit heretical beliefs.
Something that you love that's not family or friends.
All right, what do you love the most?
Like, before he says this, I will say, think of an evangelic preacher. One that, eventually it'll come out that, he has his little altar boy moments. Now picture the right's fantasy, not really fantasy, but their image of a gay or transgender person who also diddles kids. This person looks like they did the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z. Like, this person, he unnerves me quite a bit. while at the same time he looks like someone from that group, The Animals, who sings House of the Rising Sun. Not the main guy. I'm talking that guy that won't stop smiling in that video.
Alarico, what do you love? If you could think of something you love, what is it that you love? I'm not, this is not AI. What you're about to witness is a real human being, unfortunately.
I love, I'm just saying this because it's on my mind, the trans children who showed up yesterday at the state capitol to add.
What are we
do you
talking
love,
about?
James Tallarico? Trans children! The leftist party. Yeah, and listen, everyone gives me so much pushback when I say that the Democrats are the party of pedophiles. Like,
They
are
are.
we being real here? Like, are we being serious? Like, dude, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. These people fucking suck. It's unreal. All right? James Tallarico's church, where they say a sermon that the trans community needs abortion care. They're pushing trans book on kids. Among the books in the church library is The Book is Gay, which lays out the ins and outs of gay sex for kids. And as someone who covers the news every day in the least homosexual way possible, literally fuck this heretic. I absolutely cannot stand this reform ideology where it's like, oh yeah, I believe in God. The Bible, of course, it's the word of God. I just think he was wrong about like half of it. Fuck you and fuck whatever satanic demon you are actually worshiping. This shit sucks, man. And your time is nigh. It's over, bro. We are done with this. The culture has moved on. For those thinking, man.
Real quick, you know what's crazy? I don't know if this is a real picture of Hasan Piker, but or if I just noticed that Hasan reposted this. I need to do more. I need to look more into this. I was like, oh my god, even Niara's turning against Hasan Diddy Piker. But then I realized I might need to do. Oh. They're saying that Hasan helped help Trump win in 2024, I guess. I don't think that's true. I think his base hates him enough to where they would have voted for Kamala either way.
He lost because of Israel money and not because President Trump has an ironclad grip on the GOP. Explain Bill Cassidy. Explain Tom Tillis. Explain Liz Cheney. I'm curious to see how John Cornyn will go. Well, spoilers, he lost. Spoilers, it didn't work out. So this is the scorecard for Donald Trump 2026, and it's shocking.
Races and Senate races.
It is crazy.
This is his scorecard, okay?
Yeah.
He has endorsed 8 governors. Now, some of these races weren't real
He
close
looks
and had
so
a lot of
lost.
competition, but some of them did. I mean, we saw what happened in Louisiana, the primary of Bill Cassidy. We saw what happened a week ago.
Does the guy who does this for CNN, does he have a brother or something? Because this guy here isn't it. I mean, I hate to praise CNN for anything, but Fox needs that guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I just know that he's fantastic. He is the best person on any news network ever. The guy that reads all of the polls and all the stats for CNN.
Tonight with Tom
Basically all of them. All right, I'm not going to sit here and play a clip of pure and utter glazing. All right, I don't want to play this clip of a man just sucking the cock of another man. This
Oh my
is
God.
the least homosexual news coverage on the planet. I'm not going to do that. But essentially, that's what's going on there.
Kind of.
Now, Al Green just lost his primary. All right, for those of you that don't remember Al
Which is
Green,
fine.
he was the guy trying to impeach Trump for dastardly deeds.
I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce.
Just because I look like a Neanderthal, that doesn't mean I don't have the right to impeach the elected president.
That I will bring articles of impeachment against the president.
He hadn't even look at this point. This is in February. This is right after, like less than a month after he got in. He hadn't even done anything yet, really.
For dastardly deeds proposed.
But he didn't say what those
He wanted to
dastardly
impeach Trump
deeds.
for dastardly deeds. It didn't work.
Trump
I'm much
twirling
more
his
surprised at me,
evil
personally. I
mustache
totally
that he doesn't
thought
have.
This time they would get him. You know, they tried to kill him. They tried to jail him. You know, but this time I thought it was gonna. Well, it didn't happen. Al Green lost his primary by 37 points. Just heartbreaking. And the Donald had to dance on his grave a little bit. Congratulations to the Democrat Party. Al Green, one of the most mentally deficient
Al
congressmen
Green got
in the history of our
primaried.
country, has lost in a landslide his seat in Congress. But I will miss that lunatic not screaming and violently waving his cane at me during my next State of the Union
Oh, yeah.
speech. Make America great again. My God.
That's
keeps winning. It's unbelievable. All right, Democrat.
I would probably
Al
have said
Green
something
lost
like
his
that.
Congressional seat in Texas after he tried so hard to impeach Donald Trump, and he lost it badly. Bro, Trump is just killing these people.
Less than
this
half.
dude is out there. He's the incumbent. He won his last elections. He's going up. He's doing his
That's an old
best.
picture of Al
Right? He
Green.
makes
Al
Trump the sole
Green.
focus
Al
of his
Green.
election, losing
Oh,
people.
hold
And
on.
Many such.
Okay, so both these guys are incumbents. That's right, the redistricting. That's interesting. That is interesting.
Cases. Many such cases. Right, Trump
Why
has
am I
erased the
lisping this
minds
morning?
of a generation in the most fantastic way possible. Sex therapists who vowed to
Jesus.
put, quote, American Zionists into castration centers loses Texas Democratic primary. It's so
Thank
bad.
God.
They're losing all their fuckers. Wow. All of a sudden, China's starting to pay for our oil, and we're investigating Hasan Piker, and all that shit falls apart.
Can we
That's
get white
crazy.
liberal?
Now, Thomas
My
Massey,
God, why
who
am I
lost his primary also because Trump endorsed the other
Can we
guy.
get
Now, a lot
white
of people think
liberal
Trump endorsed the other
women,
guy because he didn't want to fund
out
Israel or
of the
something. That
Senate?
shit's stupid, and also not true. Trump endorsed the other guy because Thomas
In
Massey
Congress.
started the entire Jeffrey Epstein slander campaign on Donald Trump, saying that Donald Trump was part of the Epstein class, that he's a pedophile protector, that it's a pedophile administration. All right, he pushed all that shit. He made unbelievable amounts of slander against that man with zero evidence, which is bad on its own right. And if I was Trump, I would endorse the other guy just because this guy was calling him a pedophile for like a year now. All right, but worse than.
And I used to really like Massey. I really did. He did a lot of stuff that I used to like. I can't think of any of it now because he's been doing all this grandstanding and bullshit and basically doing the same thing that Pam Bondi did. Saying, oh yeah, I've got names. Oh, I know all the things. Yeah, that's right. Vote for me. Hey, I'm never going to run for anything if I don't get voted in this election. Hey, I might run for president. Like, he's been so... He's a liar. He's a liar.
Than that, all right, he voted to fucking defund ICE. He voted for open borders. He voted
Yeah.
against the big beautiful bill, which is literally the keystone of Trump's entire economic policy. All right, he voted
bet
against
it's being
open borders. He voted
paid
against
by-
ICE funding. He voted against all this shit. All right, literally get him out.
Qatar,
Get him out. All
Qatar.
these libertarians, bro.
Qatar,
These
Qatar,
guys
whatever
suck,
they say.
dude. They really do. All right, so just to be clear, all right, so he goes, he has this whole meet the press big interview because he lost miserably. The entire leftist apparatus was trying their absolute best to astroturf him and get him to win. He was on the Young Turks, bro. The Young Turks endorsed him for a Republican seat. All right, well, he lost miserably.
Can we expect you to name more names in the coming weeks and months?
Yes. Todd Blanche is violating
sorry.
the law. There's still millions of files they haven't released.
Right,
we know
right.
from talking to the
He's going to release the names. He
victims'
is.
lawyers
He is.
that their own 302 forms haven't been released.
Could you believe this? He loses his election miserably.
What
They
about
get him on an
403s?
interview, and he's like,
304s,
Epstein,
sorry.
Epstein.
We know that files have been over-redacted. I have released at least 3 names of billionaires who are implicated in this.
And he slandered a whole bunch of other guys.
I don't think it's possible to get to convictions with Todd Blanche at the top. And
That's right. It's some.
I don't see this as much different than when Jasmine Crockett said it was someone named Jeffrey Epstein that these people had dealings with. Turns out it was a dentist.
Somebody else, that's the problem. Thomas Massey said he'll publicly read the names of the Epstein clients. Why didn't you yet? Are you a pedophile protector? Why didn't you yet? Now, this is Thomas Massey, by the way.
I have got to get past May 19th. If I lose on May 19th, I am not doing any more government ever.
All right. If he loses his primary, he is never,
And then he
ever
cried.
doing anything
A lot.
again in the government ever.
For like
Anyway,
3 hours.
He's filing to run again in 2028.
I'm not.
So this is a lie.
Not running for president, not running for governor. It's a sign from God or the people or both that
Right, so if he loses on May 19th, it's a sign for the people. He ends up losing on May 19th, and he crashes out and cries about how Israel sponsored his opponent. It's truly incredible stuff. It really is. Like, it's unbelievable, the level of grip you have to deal with. Thomas Massey said, quote, if I lose on May 19th, I'm not doing this anymore. It's a sign from God. Yet he's filing to run for federal office again in 2028. Because he's a lying grifter. Maybe that's why. Thomas Massey made this tweet. I'll be exposing the swamp for 7 more months before you can get to unwrap your present from the globalist billionaires. Dog, you have been here for 14 years. This is like such horse shit. It's crazy. Thomas Massey has been in Congress for 14 years. And he didn't expose anything? But in the next 7 months, now he's gonna, because he's a grifter. Because he's a huge grifter, schizophrenic, and that's why he lost miserably. Right, dude, it's tiring watching these people. They're pathetic. In fact, in one of the most brutal debates I've ever seen in my entire life, Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks, which by the way endorsed a Republican. I wonder why. It's almost like he's backstabbing Trump every fucking
Imagine
day.
that.
Right?
See, are you seeing the connection? Are you seeing? Can you hear the screaming?
Fucking killed her.
It's interesting that you talk about Zionist billionaires because actually Jeff Yass funded Thomas Massey's campaign as well. I find it interesting that you don't talk about NIAC, the National Iranian American Council. I find it interesting you don't talk about the Council on American Islamic Relations. I find it interesting you don't talk about the Jordanian Muslims, the Marouk family, who also funded him. You don't talk about the Iranian Joe Keeney, who I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I find it interesting that you're talking about how AIPAC has this ability to simply fund elections with any money they want.
Which, by the way, they just lost their election in Texas, AIPAC, by the way.
Yet Maureen Galindo, who said that American Zionists need to be put in internment camps, actually won her election yesterday.
That is true.
Chris Rabb, who said that the Bondi Beach massacre, which killed 10 Jews by an Islamist, including a 9-year-old girl, Matilda, he said it was a false flag. He won his election yesterday.
Look at the smug look on her
buying
face.
any
She
election
doesn't
they
give a
want. How come
fuck.
They didn't buy those elections. Why did they allow those candidates to win? So again, if you want to focus on money, then sure, Thomas Massey also raised $15 million from Islamist groups, from far-left Democrats. He went on your show repeatedly. But look, Kamala Harris raised $1 billion.
He did not go on our show repeatedly.
He only went once, actually. I love how she has zero refutation.
No. He said he did all of those things repeatedly, including going on your show once. That he look of all of what he just said. That's no, he didn't go on our show more than repeatedly. It was just the once.
To anything that he says. Actually, he only went on my show once. It wasn't repeatedly.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Excuse me. He went on your show the day before the election. All right.
You can't just lie.
You can't just lie.
He didn't lie. Look, if that is the main, that's the thing that you're most worried about. Okay, you were waiting for anything in there that was untrue, and of all of that stuff about putting people in camps and all that. Oh, he lied about him being on our show more than once. One, that's not what he said. And two, what about all the other things that he said? This is a show called Counterpoints.
It wasn't repeatedly, though.
He came on for a second.
Go on your show the day
He was only there for a second, guys.
For the election.
Technical issues and had to drop off.
I am making the point that even if you have money in politics, which I want to get rid of, that still doesn't translate into forcing Kentuckians to not support a candidate. Kamala Harris had $1 billion and she still lost. What, you're telling me that 60,000 Kentuckians who wanted strong borders, who wanted DHS funded, who didn't believe that Donald Trump was a pedophile, they were forced into voting against Thomas Massey? No, they didn't like the guy. That's what elections come down to. Thomas Massey.
That's right.
He raised roughly $14 million. Ed raised roughly $19 million. But the idea that you can fool the people of Kentucky into voting for someone who they don't actually support is ludicrous. So again, if Kamala Harris raised $1 billion, then using your logic, if money is what determines outcomes of elections, then how come she lost? So yes, it's true. When you have an
He was a terrible candidate. Terrible.
Thank you for defeating your own argument, dumb bitch. Look, she had a few based moments in the last couple of years. But either all that was a smokescreen or she's right back into, she dove headfirst back into the Kool-Aid.
There it is.
Oh, so I would...
So is Thomas Massey, the Republican who was for open borders and backstabbing Trump. Exactly.
Argue that Thomas Massey, who was campaigning with individuals like Ryan Matta, who was wearing an American Reich sweater.
Bro, he was campaigning with the Young Turks. There is no bigger slight against someone on the Republican side that would go on the Young Turks for an endorsement. All right? You really want to get endorsed by Cenk Uygur? Open borders, communist, Islamist, pro-terrorism? You want that endorsement and run for Republican primaries? Bro, it's over. It's so over. Yes, he was a nightmare candidate, and that is why he lost. All right? Everyone, these people are complete retards. They don't live in reality. It's just Trump's world, and we're living in it. Now, in the twist of the century, it seems like Hasan Piker is actually going to jail. And not only that, he is already snitching on all of his co-conspirators. In fact, it's a really dark day for communism. Insane updates on this front. All right, so first, it is official. The Treasury Department is now investigating Hasan Piker and Code Pink, who hosted his trip to Cuba.
Again, this is not about speech. This is not about speech.
Trip to Cuba.
That's
the
right.
Looking at funding for the trip, which some think is tied to the Chinese Communist Party.
Ooh, this is getting a lot hairier now.
Also under scrutiny,
just like Hasan Piker.
Treason, by the way. All right, you got a lot of morons being like, oh, but freedom of speech to talk about his opinion for Cuba. No, you see, there's a fine line between freedom of speech and treason, and Hasan Piker seems to find himself on the other side of that line.
Businessman and social activist Neville Roy Singham.
Remember that name.
Who has donated to Code Pink in the past and has alleged ties to China through his business dealings. The investigation is looking at his trip, which involved as many as 40 American citizens who joined what is being called a Marxist convoy to Havana. The Trump administration wants to know if Piker and Code Pink violated U.S. laws and sanctions in support of Cuba's communist government. For now, nobody has been charged.
Yeah, so far. But we'll see. It's gonna be bad.
It's the Mrs. Puff episode, except Hasan is being taunted by Israel.
All right, so here we have this guy, Congressman Randy
Hava, straitjacket, Hava, straitjacket.
Goes on the news to blast Hasan Piker.
Your thoughts on these latest allegations against Piker?
Well, both of these individuals are funded by overseas influencers that support terrorism.
That's right.
I have to deal with these Code Pink lunatics on Capitol Hill when they come around, and they shut up because I always demand that they tell me how much they're getting paid, and they don't want to answer that question. If they went to Cuba, if they interfered with our sanction policy, federal policy, they should go to jail. And in the case of Hasan Piker, I hope it goes one step further. He's from Turkey. I hope we denaturalize and we deport him.
The goat?
Yes.
Oh my God, the goat. The goat. Bro, Hasan Piker is gonna get whacked with the Hebrew hammer. It is over, bro. It is over, brosif.
And send him back. These are not people who love America. These are not people that share American values. These are the enemy within, and we need to deal with them accordingly.
Oh my God, you're going to call them the enemy within. You just did. What are you going to do?
And yet the left seems so enamored with Piker. Why is that?
Because
the left loves terrorism, actually.
Because much of the left hates America now. That's been the most disheartening thing about my year in Congress. 30 years ago, Republicans and Democrats had different ways to make America successful, but both sides loved America and wanted it to be successful. A large percentage of the Democrats who serve in Congress hate America and seek its destruction. If you think Ilhan Omar and Rashid...
And literally every hard leftist, there are still liberals out there who are classical liberals. And you can't trust any of the sites that say classically liberal because they've all drank the tea too. They have all drank... the Kool-Aid. They've all drank the Kool-Aid. Okay, they're all... They've all got the derangement syndrome now. Okay? But there are still people out there who actually want free speech because free speech is actually a liberal ideology, and for some reason we've lost it. It's all gone. Okay, there are still, old school guys like Bill Maher out there who, and I know some people think that's laughable, but I still, Bill Maher is one of my heroes. Okay, he lost it for a little bit there, but he's on the right track. Just before he, dies of old age, but he's back on the right track. It's absolutely baffling to me how the modern, not even the modern Republican Party, but the modern, closer to based Republican Party looks a lot more like the Liberal Party than the Liberal Party does. It's absolutely insane.
Rashida Tlaib want a successful United States, you are out of your mind. But they are not isolated. They are now mainstream on that.
Is there anything similar between Rashida Tlaib, Muslim, Ilhan Omar, Muslim, and Hasan Piker, Muslim? No, I don't think they have anything in common, actually.
That side of the aisle. Not every Democrat hates America.
Or Massey, who's backed by said people, or Tucker Carlson, who's backed by said people, or Candace Owens, she's never been a conservative. She is a dyed-in-the-war liberal who rebranded and met up with Charlie Kirk on his rise. That's it. And then Megyn Kelly's probably on the payroll. I mean, you see this all around.
America, but many of them do, and they're the ones that have embraced Hasan Piker, another person who hates America.
It's a funny coincidence that they all have the same faith, actually. Now, Hasan Piker is...
And it's not even the faith itself, okay? It's the extremist within said faith. Okay, because I know plenty of Muslims who are absolutely fine. Why? See, that freaks me out every time my phone turns on its microphone. But I know several, and sure, that's anecdotal, whatever. But I know several who are just fine. Okay, they're semi-secular Muslims, or what's it called when you're barely something? Like the Episcopal is for Catholics. But that. who are maybe just loosely affiliated with the religion itself. They're 100% fine. People who just, try their best, but they fail. They're not willing to kill people for leaving the religion, throw gay people from rooftops, or any of those horrible things. So I'm not quite as far as Nux is on this, okay? And I'm going to do my best to refuse to be so. Because as much as I try to portray myself as a die-hard cynic, the older I get, the more I feel like there's nothing that can be done with that mindset. Otherwise, we're just going to end up killing each other, and no one needs that. I have to hold on to hope. I have to. And forgive me for that, but I will not lose hope. I will be the fucking Professor X to your Magneto if I have to, Lord Nux. We're fighting the same fight. I just can't lose hope, and I can't lose faith in my people.
Is literally trying to make my day better by having public crash outs.
Or humanity, rather.
But it's so strange because this is not even beneficial for any of these people, right? It's not even beneficial. And they don't get it.
Which is funny because I am bald.
They don't understand it. Like, who is this for is the question.
For me.
Is it for you?
Me. Yeah.
Is this helpful for you if I go to fucking prison? No.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, yeah. No, I agree with him on that.
It is.
We're right there.
I disagree. I totally disagree. Actually, it is. Yes. Is it helpful for you if you step on a cockroach that's in your kitchen? Yep. Yeah.
A cockroach.
Actually, yes. Actually, I like that the cockroach is dead. Anyway, Hasan Piker, bro, you don't understand. The entire internet came together on this one. You got center left. You got far right. Everyone is singing Kumbaya around the campfire watching this dude collapse.
Please, President Trump, I'll gulp your Cheeto dry. Just let me stay in America.
What?
No! Just pure and utter misery.
I love that.
This dude's getting
Tell Hasan, I want him to know it was me.
Not only him, actually. Now,
the memes on this, the memes have been absolutely amazing. They've been even just as good, if not better, especially the ones that are shared between the last episode of The Boys. It's been amazing.
This is a bigger story that no one wants to actually address. Hasan Piker might actually be a linchpin in destroying absolute and utter destruction that is coming into our country from China and other communists. All right, breaking. New report from UN Watch reveals that the UN experts accepted millions of dollars from China, Russia, and Qatar before attacking the U.S., Israel, and the West. Pretty interesting stuff, honestly. Right, and obviously it's a whole report. But the point is, they are taking millions from China, Russia, and Qatar, and then they're attacking us. Isn't that weird? Don't you find that weird? In fact, Spanish police raided the headquarters of Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's ruling Socialist Party. Oh my God!
Bricks.
More communists getting absolutely raped. That's brutal. Don't like to hear that.
Billie Eilish, who knows? I didn't see whatever, but I know. I know with her communist-loving self, she's been promoting a lot of products that she's selling on her social medias, and people are roasting her the last week or so.
Now, Zohran Mamdani, just to understand how the communism infiltration happens, right? This guy's the mayor of New York right now. He got complete fucking retards to vote for him because he promised them free shit, all right? And he got the immigrants he told all the immigrants, hey, you're in America, and you hate America, and you hate white people. Why don't I just take the stuff from the white people and give it to you?
I got to say that block by block sign, it really makes me think that he loved playing with Mega Blocks. Not Legos, but Mega Blocks, because they're easier for him to put together.
And all the migrants are like, holy shit, this guy's so fucking based. I love the way he says that. It's so based when he got this band in office. It was so awesome. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, so this is what he had to say.
When necessary, we will take aggressive legal action to remove negligent owners and property managers.
I don't even know what that means.
Let me ask you a question. Look at this lady right here. How the hell can her eyes look too close together and too far apart at the same damn time?
What does that mean, remove?
Just look at it. I don't know if it's a compression thing or what. Look at this.
And for buildings that have suffered chronic neglect, we will work to transfer ownership to responsible stewards.
That's right. If they subjectively
look at
decide
this.
That they don't like your building, they will just transfer the ownership to somebody else.
Look at this.
The communists
He can be out.
Confiscate your house. Welcome to New York, baby.
Stewards that include community land trusts, nonprofits.
That's right. They're going to transfer the ownership from you to the community.
To you, the people. Yes, that's right. With my name is Zoran Baindani.
Nonprofits.
Yes, the
or even
non-profits.
the tenants themselves.
To you, the tenants.
I bet you that will not happen.
No, it absolutely won't.
All right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. All right, so this is just straight up communism, by the way. All right,
Or
Just
somehow
understand
to
how
the leaders of
infiltration
Black
actually
Lives
works.
Matter.
So Hasan Piker, who campaigned to get that guy elected, is obviously a very important agent for the Chinese Communist Party or whatever other foreign interest is trying to rape our country. All right, just understand. So this is Hasan basically kind of sort of admitting that he broke federal law.
And I'm not going to lie to you guys.
Yeah, you are. That's what you do. Lying is OP, right?
It's not great.
W, let's go.
The news
Jail.
is not great.
Put him away.
Okay?
Lock him the
I mean, it's
fuck up.
bullshit.
It's not.
But
It's incredibly based and true.
Still not
God,
great.
he's so scared.
that-
He's so scared. It's amazing.
It's so
I love
it's,
it.
you know,
it's not
they're-
great.
They're after your boy. They're up
No.
my ass.
They're up his ass.
It's
They're
okay.
after
You like
your
it that
boy.
way.
All right, so he knows he broke federal law. In my opinion. I think he knows all this, and he's terrified that he's going to
Sorry.
jail. Now, if you actually want to see a little bit of Nostradamus magic, all right, you can look at some of my videos covering his.
No,
Cuba
I really
trip.
am. I'm sorry. I
Hasan
can't hear
Piker
you
will be
screaming.
arrested for his Cuba trip 2 months ago, and also another video over here. Hasan responded he's going to go to jail. I am just saying.
It's a base video.
I am just
Very
saying.
based.
Nostradamus strikes again. It's really good. All right, definitely subscribe. But anyway, so, saying the quiet part out loud. Far-left streamer Hasan Piker names Neville Roy Singham as the funding vehicle behind political operations that operate under nonprofit labels. Now, my favorite thing is the fact that, you got this billionaire in China that's out there funding Hasan as, this astroturfed fuckboy trying to promote communism, and he's just dumb as fucking mud. He's just dumb as rocks. All right, and they're trying their best to astroturf this guy, and he's just fucking stupid as shit, and he ends up exposing their entire operation. Fox News has now hired reporters to monitor Hasan Piker's Twitch stream all day. This seems like the kind of punishment Zeus would come up.
I mean, this is very smart. This is very smart. I mean, considering that a lot of people have been hired by news stations just to tweet or to monitor social media, this seems very smart.
Up with when one of the Greek mortals were a bit of an asshole. It's forced to watch Hasan Piker's streams all day, I guess. Now, this is an old clip
it
of
is a
Hasan that
shocking
just
stream.
resurfaced. And it's pretty insane because he basically admits to treason in this clip.
I want to go to Cuba. Would you be down?
I fucking love Cuba.
Oh yeah, you'd be down?
Yeah, I filmed a
I think I
documentary
got,
there once.
I love it. It's so beautiful, except for the parts where people live, but it's a beautiful beach.
The Cuban government actually hit my contact from the embassy.
Ah, he's in direct contact with the communist adversarial government, literally torturing the Cuban people. Isn't that fucking awesome that he admits this shit? But I don't know how he admits this, and he's doing it for free.
And told him that if the
And I'm sure you have all the people around him just trying.
Dude, this is a weed conversation, okay? Off-camera weed conversation. Stop talking.
Trying to fucking kill him before he says anything. His lawyers immediately just shooting themselves in the head.
Only thing stopping us.
His whole chat just typing vigorously. Oh, no, what are you doing?
Coming to Cuba was the
This dude's doing the big slurps. He's like,
Yeah,
"No,
he's just
fucking
yep, he's
stop."
going to jail.
We can make it happen.
Yeah, Cuba is
He's trying not to, that is that's the friend that's just he's saying this and he's sending Morse code through the slurps. Just be like, hey, Hasan, shut the fuck up.
Wait, the government.
Stop!
Yeah, right here.
Was the
Let's
Shooting
see.
themselves in the head.
only thing stopping
Here,
us
hey,
coming
Hasan,
to Cuba
shut
was
the fuck up.
This dude's doing the big
Slam.
slurps. He's like, yo, fucking stop!
internet access. We can make it happen.
Yeah, Cuba is sick.
Wait,
It's so sick, those beaches.
So yeah.
Again, not where people live, but the other places where tourists go.
The government that we have sanctions on is talking to you directly to do propaganda for them. No, don't admit that you're literally abating a foreign enemy. No, that's treason. Assad, please. But he's fucking retarded. Man, you see, my favorite thing about this saga
Yeah,
is not
but
only is he,
fucking.
like, cartoonishly evil, torturing his dog, you know, going to brothels in Germany that sex traffic children, cartoonishly evil, supportive of every Islamic terrorist he could fucking think of. He just fucking admits to be working with foreign governments.
Well, not
Yeah, bro, it's just so bad. So he reacted to this clip that went viral, and dude, his reaction is even better.
None of this is illegal.
Yes,
okay?
it is. It literally is.
Doing propaganda for a foreign adversary is illegal. That is providing material support to a foreign enemy. It is considered treason, punishable by death or up to 10 years in prison. All right, hello?
American citizen. You can.
You're an American citizen. You can.
Which is
literally
weird.
be treason
Which
as
is
an
weird
American
that it's
citizen.
punishable by death or 10 years in prison. There seems like a gap there.
I love that he thinks this is a defense.
Literally be in correspondence with individuals in another country. The American restriction.
I love how he like waters down every description he ever makes. He's doing propaganda for a foreign adversary, and he's like, you can talk to people in other countries. Yeah. All right, Hasan, let's see how this works.
On this stuff are fucking idiotic. I have a journalism visa.
He disagrees with America's sanctions against an adversary. Well, that makes it okay to do propaganda for a foreign enemy.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He has a journalism visa. He could do terrorism now.
And what's really funny about it is that every single media outlet that goes to Cuba does this as well.
No,
CNN.
they actually don't do propaganda. They do reporting. You did propaganda. And if you were caught to be funded by a foreign power like China, you're actually fucked.
Al Jazeera, ABC, fucking Fox News.
I love how he thinks, like, this is how leftists operate. They just make believe they don't understand things. And then just completely render every form of conversation meaningless because they just make believe they don't understand words.
I have a journalism degree.
Notice
I'm
they
allowed to
can't
commit
report on
treason.
Cuba. Yes, Fox News does report on Cuba, true. A, not positively, and B, they don't get funded by China to do propaganda for foreign enemies.
Ding.
He's like, but other people talk to people in Cuba too. Like, actually retarded.
Every goddamn American news outlet that has been to Cuba has done this.
None of them got funding from China to do propaganda for Cuba. None of them. All right, which is what we're talking about here. But he knows that. He knows that. He just thinks he can get away with it. Now, I think this is insane. The fact that he names Neville Roy Singham. Like, this dude is chirping.
Naming names.
He's
Tweet,
chirping and
tweet.
squealing for free. Could have saved this shit for a plea deal, but he's just giving it to you.
I think that ultimately the target is probably Singham and his operation from PSL to Answer Coalition to Co-Pink, like anything that he has ever financed. And it's not new. It's been around for a while, but it's obviously it's held through regardless because
like
it's
a
so
canary,
ridiculous, right? It's like totally fucking ridiculous.
Oh, it's cinema. It's just so good. It's just so good.
To try and to try and stop like the political advocacy of an American citizen.
Yeah, no one's trying to stop your political advocacy. They're just not a fan of treason.
Right? Roy Singham is an American citizen. He lives in China.
Please describe more about this guy.
Now.
Yeah. He lives in China where?
He's a centimillionaire. I think he has almost $1 billion.
Hasan Piker hates billionaires so much he even gets funded by them to do propaganda for foreign terrorists.
Not sure how much money he has now, but
allegedly,
he's been a funding vehicle for a lot of political, political movements in the country,
really?
a lot of activism.
Oh, he's funding a lot of the activism in the country. Interesting. So it's all.
Oh, he sounds like that other guy that's doing a lot of this.
And they hate that shit. Like the American government hates that.
Yep, the American government really does hate when foreign powers and foreign countries are literally funding terrorism in our country. Can't believe it.
So they're trying to
Please
jam
keep
him up.
describing it.
You know, they're trying to hit him on anything and everything they possibly can.
I love how Hasan he does this to sound smart, and he ends up coming off as the most
a snitch
retard you've ever seen in your life. All right. Turns out PSL, which is what Hasan just named, has a lot of Reddit moderators and therefore subreddits under his control. The right r/the right can't mean, Gen Z dong, late stage capitalism. These are all subreddits that are literally all run by this. Effectively, the entire tanky faction of Reddit is directly influenced by China. Thanks for the info, Hasan. This guy is a complete fucking idiot, and he doesn't even realize it. This is just Hasan talking about his childhood.
You know, I never had much as a kid. Just loving parents and stability in a mansion and a thriving baked goods enterprise for me to inherit. Useless crap like that. You know,
bro, just literally, and then he
Pretty
just
much.
comes out here, fucking hates us, all right, and everyone is shitting on him. It's truly incredible. You know, the claim is that Hasan went to Cuba on humanitarian grounds. The reality is he very likely violated very serious restrictions that make humanitarian travel legal. All right, just to understand, Hasan states that he went to expose what the U.S. government did to Cuba. All right?
Yeah.
Humanitarian travelers must run a full-time schedule that enhances contact, supports civil society, promotes Cuba's people's independence. He didn't do any of that. He did gay nightclubs and shit and stole electricity from hospitals to kill some children.
True.
Like, allegedly.
Hey,
Like,
thanks
you understand
Industry
how
Plant
bad
for
this
the
stuff is
follow.
Crazy. Right now, Sneeko, Muslim.
Love
did
the
an
name, by the
entire
way.
Massive talk about why we must defend Hasan Piker despite their ongoing beef.
Oh no, I spelled
hooray!
Sneeko wrong. How
Hasan is
sad.
attacking him, and yet he is still gonna be pro Hasan. The only reason why they're doing it is because Hasan has been critical of Trump.
It's a clear double standard, and
it's a double standard.
Let's talk about the only reason why he's
such a double standard.
defending
For the
him.
record, the left has been doing this to the right for years. The left has been locking up people on the right for shit that's not anywhere nearly as bad as this. They've been censoring us,
For
they've
any
been banning
Islamic
us,
people in the audience who know what haram means, look at things that Sneeko does all the time. He breaks haram all the time. He drinks. He fucks. He does all... Well, fucking doesn't really do it. I'm thinking of the wrong religion on that. But he drinks. Drinking's a big no-no. And he does other thing. He does cuck, however.
Banking us, they've been jailing us. All right, look at the Gen 6ers that were all in jail on sham trials. People like Derek Chauvin, who's still in jail, even though George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose because of a show trial. And his partner, that the other guy, the Asian guy, that's also in jail. Like, you understand how insane this is? And he's like, no, they just hate. He's just critical for Trump, and that's why they're jailing him for terrorism. It's fucking crazy. I love this. It's actually amazing that he's doing this. So Sneeko's obviously very mad about it. He's Muslim. Very mad about this. Also, Sneeko had this to say.
But like when I was like 14, I thought I was gay. I watched gay porn.
You are.
It's not for me. It's not for me. I saw like
Instantly
I
uncomfortable.
went to a gay nightclub with my gay friends. Like I went to go visit my friend in Massachusetts.
Anyway,
Which that's
so,
fine. Look, going to a gay nightclub's fine, as long as you're not there to pick up guys with tits.
In here, I meant to do this clip.
Can I get a mojito, a Moscow Mule, and a tequila shot?
Oh, sorry, that's just Sneeko, a Muslim ordering alcohol at a bar because he thought the stream was last night. I don't know if I include that either. Now, Myron Gaines did the same thing.
I love when he does that shit.
Muslim. Myron Gaines gives Hasan Piker life-saving advice and a winning strategy after he was subpoenaed. He's like, no.
Oh, imagine that. Myron doesn't know what things are happening. Like, Myron doesn't understand the situation. What a surprise.
Oh, please, Hasan, we must rescue Hasan.
Step 1, get this subpoena. Read the subpoena. Step 2, hire a lawyer that specializes in OFAC. Step 3, optional, but I highly suggest you do it just based on what I think the government's going to bring you in for. Hire a criminal defense lawyer that specializes in
Yanuka,
espionage.
good morning.
Pay for the console. Maybe retain him as a lawyer. Maybe he can.
Anyway, bro goes on a 3-minute tirade giving fantastic advice for Hasan to survive. Please, Hasan must survive. Please, please.
I wonder what they have in common.
I'm just
Yeah,
wondering
exactly.
if you're noticing anything here. So I actually mentioned this. No one wants to make this connection because apparently there's still some things that are taboo. Apparently there's still some things you're not allowed to say out loud. But don't worry, we're wrecking barriers on my stream every
If anyone
day.
wants to know what I look like a slightly more handsome Tectone, by the way. But my insides, inside myself, I look more like Jake Monroe.
Something that makes me so happy about Nuck shitting on Hasan, man. I see so much. It's comforting, you know. It's like having a nice home cooked meal from mom. It just makes me feel like everything's normal and is gonna be okay.
I just feel like we hate him for the same reasons. He slandered both of us. He supports terrorism. He hates our country, and he's gonna find out. And it's very entertaining.
It's extremely entertaining.
Also, I don't know if it's relevant, but he directly supports terrorist organizations that personally want me dead. By the way, I don't know if that's relevant, but yeah, that too. Yeah.
It is.
This dude said, "Is it gonna make your life better if I go to jail?"
Yes.
Yes, actually.
Yes, it'll make my life awesome. It'll be so cool if you go to jail.
Yeah, he did say that earlier today.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, he
I'm
did.
glad you mentioned that,
As
Hasan.
if that's why he's going to prison. It's like, yeah, you're going to prison purely because you are.
Hey,
annoying.
Melly,
That's
thanks for
not
the
that,
follow.
And there's nothing else. That's it. It's not all the connections that you have.
My favorite thing is the argument is so like retarded too. It's like, Will it really make your life better if you step on a
Yes.
cockroach in your kitchen?
Yeah.
A little bit, I
Yeah,
guess.
it will.
But yeah, exactly. If you actually do want me to answer your question, Hasan, yeah, it'd be fucking great, man.
It's definitely been an IQ.
Oh, I thought it was a rhetorical
An
question.
IQ test amongst content creators, because I've seen many content creators go live on Twitter and say, "Guys, you don't want Hasan to go to jail because if he does, we all will." No, that's just like not what he's being arrested for.
Tell me the content creators. Tell me the content creators, and you'll notice they all have something in common. Tell me the ones that said that.
I'll DM you.
Well, I can say them out loud. It's
Go ahead, man.
Nico, an Islamist. It's
Yeah.
Myron Gaines, an Islamist. It's Mike from PA, a communist. Uh-oh. I
Oh,
can't
oh.
possibly think of the through line here. Are we noticing?
There's more, by the way. There's more.
Yeah, did you see the Reddit expose?
Do they
that
fit into
happened?
any of those two categories?
Well, there's a very high chance of that next.
Yeah, there is a very high chance of that, actually. That's pretty weird. That's pretty wild. I can't personally believe that at all. All right, now, you got someone in his chat, like, just crashing out. Dude, this is so good. It's like, I highly doubt Myron is simping for Hasan. What a Jewish take. It's like, Myron wouldn't do that because you're such a Jew. That's why you're going after Myron. Myron made a whole tweet about it. Hasan Piker is a faggot. True, a huge insufferable Myron. Myron made a whole
Hold
do
on.
that because you're such
Attention deficit. That makes sense.
a Jew. That's
And
why
I
you're
say
going
that as
after
someone
Myron.
who has heavy
Myron made a whole tweet about
ADHD.
it. Hasan Piker is a faggot. True, a huge insufferable pompous one. However, I don't want to throw.
I love how he spells it with a PH.
No, he's not smart enough to be a spy. He's just dumb and loud and woke. No, you can't do that. No, don't arrest Hasan for treason. Very cool. Anyway, let's just take a look at what our favorite religion of peace has been up.
Real quick before we get into that, speaking of religions of peace, Helen Mirren got Tom Hardy fired. I don't know if you know who Adame Media is. He's a retard, but let's see what he has to say here, because I didn't know that Tom Hardy got fired from Mobland. Helen Mirren got Tom Hardy fired. The disgusting terrorist who fondly remembers Arabs thrown out of their homes got Tom Hardy kicked off the show Mobland because he's against ethnic cleansing. On set tension, an insider account shared on social media that revealed that the disagreement reportedly began when Mirren spoke about the protest in London supporting Palestine, prompting Hardy to laugh and leave their table abruptly. Following the incident, Mirren is said to have criticized Hardy's behavior, including his punctuality and confidence around the cast and crew. I'm going to have to look more into this. No, I love Nux too, bud. I know you love him because you keep tagging me and him in a bunch of awesome things that you post, which, by the way, I love it. Keep doing that. I'm going to have to look more into this to see what Hardy's position on this was, whether he was for or against the protest. I'm guessing he was for the protest. Otherwise, Adam here would be glazing Helen Mirren, but we'll see. I mean, I don't care. I'm still going to watch his stuff because he's a great actor and I love his shit. And I've never seen him actively pushing any kind of politics, so I don't really care what he does behind the scenes, you know? But at the same time, I am curious about this. So, anyway, continuing. What's the Religion of Peace doing? Police be upon them?
Aside from defending Hasan Piker, we got a major kosher store in Golders Green, London, getting blown up. We don't know who it could have possibly been. We don't know who could have done this. All right, here we got people hanging an effigy of a Jew at a Palestinian march in Montreal yesterday. All right, this is probably
what is
just
this,
criticizing
Kazakhstan?
the state of Israel, if I had to guess. All right, this is a Jewish girl who went missing in Toronto, 14-year-old, and when they put up flyers to try to locate her, people tore down the flyers because she's Jewish, and obviously this is going to free Palestine, so obviously they're fighting the good fight. Vile anti-Semitic UCLA students formed a Jewish exclusion zone and beat them unconscious with sticks.
Get them. Get them, Trump.
They want to free Palestine, so they have to beat up the Jews in UCLA. Like, duh. Obviously. This is everything I'm showing you happened yesterday. Boston in the United States. We got a black guy dressed as Adolf Hitler filming himself, stomping on an Israeli flag. This is just criticism of the state of Israel, by the way. Now, speaking of China, Muslims forced to drink alcohol and eat pork in China's re-education camps, former inmate claims. So listen, maybe we were wrong about China. Glass half full. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding, obviously. I'm kidding, obviously.
You know, as I see it, and all these things you're pointing out about.
I mean, yes, that is religious torture, but as long as the pork's cooked well, it's really just a meal and drinks. That's a date.
The different religions. There's a reason why we don't see almost no Muslim girls in the rape statistics in Britain, but it's because it's a religiously motivated rape jihad against Christians by these predominantly Pakistani Muslim men.
Oh,
you don't find the white man, you don't find the white man in Britain raping Muslim girls as some sort of religious targeting.
By the way, that's Cenk Uygur, someone who thinks it should be legal to have sex with animals as long as you're having sex with them and it's gratifying to them. Just so you know.
Because the reason they don't rape their own girls is because that would be haram. So they go outside of their religion because that's considered.
Also, his grandparents are blood related.
All right, because we know what the Quran says about sex slaves and all those things outside your religion. It's just it's just made up. It's just made up.
It's made up. Good defense, Chunk. Anyway, so yeah. So Muslims are out there blowing up, burning, and raping Christians and Jews across the world, and you're racist for noticing. Did you know that there are Gaza bots that will follow you if you post the word genocide about Gaza, even if you're saying there isn't one? It's all a psyop. Gets followed by a pro-Gaza guy. It's like, bro, that's crazy. Thanks for your support to another bot. Like, bro, it's crazy. Tell Hasan, I want him to know it was me. And the mainstream media is doing their best to fight back.
Peace on Big Black.
Restore Britain is attracting young men in large numbers who are fed up and want real radical change. Wrong! It's millions of young women, too. We are radicalizing the bitches, ladies and gentlemen. And all it took was importing a gang of barbaric rapists, and that's all it took. And that is why feminism is an inherently retarded position that inherently cannot ever exist or make sense. You always need a patriarchy, ultimately, because force is owned and dominated by males. So the women will take power and import the rapists and then need men to deport them. So yeah, I just find it funny that we have communists around the world, from Spain to the UN, just getting absolutely exposed. It seems like this Hasan Piker entire investigation is leading us to actually track down like this billionaire in China that's been funding all this shit. All these activists seem like they're completely astroturfed. For some reason, the only people defending Hasan are Muslims. I can't believe it. People like Sneeko and Byron Gaines, that's a shock and a half. Didn't see that one coming. Honestly, I just have to say, absolute freaking cinema. This is the best timeline. Yes, actually denaturalizing and deporting foreign terrorist-supporting retard traitors is based as fuck, actually, and very consistent with my principles. Oy vey, it's another Nakba, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the leftoids in California are getting absolutely eviscerated, too. I didn't think this would be possible, but we're getting a Republican mayor in Los Angeles, and I didn't think that would ever happen in my lifetime, I'm not gonna lie. All right, so anyway, first, before we even get into that, the absolutely diabolical campaign that's being run by Spencer Pratt in L.A., I have to show you a new California law that just passed, the Stop Nick Shirley Act. I can't believe that we're here.
This is what many
This
are
is insane.
calling
I saw a bit
the
of this
Stop
earlier.
Nick Shirley Act. This provision right here, B1. This is the look, I'm not going to support the bill overall, but at the very least, if you support freedom of speech and the First Amendment, B1 is a problem. And let me quote it in plain English, directly from the bill. A person shall not publicly post or display on the internet the image of a designated immigrant support services provider.
Look at that. What the fuck is that?
That's the language.
What does that even mean?
Plain and simple.
That's it. What is that? What
It
does that
goes
mean?
on to say, well,
you're not allowed to post images that we don't like.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. That's right. We're
You're
gonna
not
be
allowed to
arresting you
show
now
us
because not
doing
because you said something
anything,
that's false,
whether it's
just
good
because
or
you said
bad.
it's true, and we don't like it.
only if this so-called provider has given a written request. So let me give you an example. Nick Shirley shows up with his camera crew to the Somali Leering Center. Or maybe
the one which, by the way, actually was raided by the FBI and they got arrested
imagine
for
that.
fraud.
one of the 90 fake hospices operating in a building in Los Angeles that was highlighted by CBS News shows up doing the work of a citizen watchdog journalist. This is something we should promote. We should say, look, we want extra set of eyes. People have a right to go out there and kick the tires and find out what are these organizations doing with our taxpayer funds.
Stealing them.
Records empty beds at the daycare center records no patients, no medical supplies, no nurses, no doctors at the fake hospices. On the basis of this research, investigative research, posts this on the internet, interviews some of the providers. And all these people do is they hand Nick Shirley a business card.
Excuse me, Mr. DeMaio. Assemblymember Bonta, you are recognized for your point of
I
order.
asked the member from San Diego to actually stick to the merits of this bill, which actually has nothing to do with so-called
Thank you,
Nick Shirley.
Assemblymember.
That's right. The Stop Nick Shirley Act, which
Yeah.
has nothing to do with Nick Shirley, we should have just talked about this.
Which is funny because they dubbed it the Stop Nick Shirley Act themselves. This isn't something that Republicans dubbed it. Whereas the bill that went through in Florida a few years ago, which was the Don't Say Gay bill, which it was dubbed that by Democrats. Excuse me. I'm not AI. I just burped. But it did make the same sound that AI does when it's in the middle of a sentence sometimes. But no, the Don't Say Gay bill, which was never had anything to do with it. It may have been why it was penned, but it never says anything about being gay or straight inside of the bill. It just said, hey, we shouldn't talk to kids under a certain age about sex in schools. That's it. That's it.
These people are horrible. California voted to pass.
Oh yeah, but California is a one-party state. California has one party until this upcoming election, as a matter of fact. California has been solid blue for, God, decades. Decades. They have not had a Republican, except for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think he was a Republican, okay? But they have been solid blue for a very long time. They have been very, very blue. But they also have... But yeah, no, they have been solid blue for a very long time. Like solid blue. Like there is no turning. There's none of it. I think. Hold on. Was Schwarzenegger a Republican governor? I'm pretty sure he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. But yeah, it's been for 15 years now. It's been solid blue. Solid blue. I think they may have had one congressman or two congressmen that were Republican, but they have a lot of congressmen. How many Congress people from California are Republican? Okay, so they have 7 of 52 congressional seats. But again, that's on the national stage. It's got nothing to do with the state side, especially on the other side of the Cascade Mountains. It is all blue, all of it. But we're fixing to have a Republican mayor for Los Angeles, and we're fixing to have a Republican governor because of their stupid voting habits. And they've done it this way because they thought Republicans would be so unpopular that there would never be any way that they would have 2 people in the lead of the gubernatorial run, which is funny because Gavin Newsom beat Larry Elder. If you don't know Larry Elder, I'm pretty sure it was Larry Elder, is a black conservative. And he ran against Gavin Newsom, and they kept the black man out of office because the white man was here to save them.
Fraud and makes it harder to expose fraud in immigration support services, including NGOs.
But white people did
nonprofits,
that, let's be
healthcare
honest.
Facilities. They receive hundreds of millions from the state of California each year. This bill would have made it criminal to expose fake hospices in LA or the Somali Leering Center in Minnesota that would claim a reasonable fear, and the business owner gives a written demand not to post the video. Plain and simple, California is trying to make it harder to expose fraud. This is crazy! Crazy. They could be sued for an injunction to remove the video, plus forced to pay attorney's fees, plus $4,000 in damages. Isn't that crazy? The Attorney General's wife, Mia Bonta, created the bill and is now trying to make it law. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that we've even made it to this point is crazy. Now, JD went
She's on the
nuclear
take.
on this.
Nothing. No services, no help, no check-ins, and the very man, the vulnerable elderly man that he was supposed to be protecting and looking after, was reimbursed by the taxpayer in order to do exactly that. That man died. And one day before he died, after months of being neglected by the caretaker who was getting reimbursed by the American people, one day before he died, he submitted his final reimbursement for services he never provided for a man he never cared for. And that man lived his final moments on this earth neglected while a fraudster got rich by providing services that he never actually provided.
So, unbelievable evil, by the way, but also even more than that, they want to make it illegal to expose this now in California. Just understand how deep the fraud is.
Yep.
So, Stephen Miller
I thought
also
Dr.
dropped
Evil
the
was
news on
about to
this
talk.
one.
Oh, there he goes.
Thank you. And thank you again to the Vice President.
Look at him. That's French
for leading
Stewart
this effort, for
playing
helping this
Dr.
task
Evil.
force, for bringing us all together here. I think you can all agree that this is the fastest in history that a government task force has traveled from creation to action. Your typical lead time is going to be a year of meetings before anything happens, and that's if you're lucky. And within weeks of this task force being established, we've seen the largest ever.
Hi, we're the UN. We should have a meeting to decide what meetings we're going to do before we condemn Iran with a strongly worded letter.
Slate of indictments, recovered funds, search warrants, raids, seizures, investigations, and new legal actions to stop, disrupt, and prevent fraud. What we've learned, which is not surprising to those of us who've spent some time in this area, is that fraud is every bit as bad as President Trump said it was, and even worse.
And was right.
So in other words, everything we found either confirms our worst fears or exceeds them. That's the bad news. The good news is that the best team in government under the leadership of Vice President Vance has been assembled to deal with it. And of course, one of those men who you'll hear from in a second is sitting to my right here, the Associate Attorney General for Fraud Enforcement, Colin McDonald. But before I yield the floor, I do want to just touch on one of the points that Andrew hit on in his remarks. All of the systems in our country, whether you're talking about voting, whether you're talking about entitlements, whether you're talking about welfare benefits, were set up based on the honor system. They're set up based on the idea that you could trust the average person.
But we don't live in a high-trust society anymore. That's right.
I'm so sorry. Like, while I agree with what he's saying, my ADHD's kicking in just like nuts here. I'm just like, and then I just clap because I know what he said was base, because I have to go back through and sit through it 2 or 3 times to get it all, because mental illness mostly. But anyway.
America was built to be a high-trust society. And then you import 4 bajillion fuckers that do not believe in thou shalt not steal. You know, you just import them, you know, from fucking retard land. And all of a sudden, it's a low-trust society. How did this happen? How have we degraded as a society?
Through their own morality,
I didn't see that one coming.
to abide by the rules and comply with the law. And so the way most welfare works in most states and most places is we take your word for it. If you thought a piece of paper and you say your kids are hungry, you are going to get food stamps. We don't check as a country if you even have kids. In fact, as basic as that. We don't even check if you even have children. You will just start getting the checks. And so what's happened to our country is we became a society, as we've seen with the Somali refugee problem in Minnesota, where you have a large number of people that are not following the honor system. They're not playing by the rules.
You mean to tell me that the Somalis have an inferior culture? I couldn't tell from the fact that they have shit-flinging festivals, piracy, and that they live in mud huts as they rape each other.
Shit-flinging?
I
Hold
was
on, I gotta look
surprised
that up.
Because I thought that the culture that would genitally mutilate 99% of women in the country, I thought that they would be like literally ready to assimilate into American culture. But now I'm told that the 67 IQ inbreds can't do it? Well, color me shocked.
We're not abiding by our laws, and the amount that has been fleeced from us is in the hundreds of billions of dollars. I believe, based on what I've seen and what I've heard, is that we could balance
Oh
the
my
federal
God, it's
budget
real.
if the only dollars that went out of the Treasury went to individuals who were properly, lawfully, correctly eligible to receive them. And that ultimately is going to be what we have to do as a country. In the meantime, because of the Vice President's leadership, you are seeing the most muscular, robust, aggressive, dedicated, determined.
That is insane. Insane. That if
Hold on. Gorihaba Cow Dung Festival is a local Hindu. It's Hindu. That's all I can find. Hold on. There's got to be. I'm going to look more into this. I'm fascinated by this. Now, I can't really say a whole lot because as someone who was raised in the Bible Belt and spent a lot of the time out in the country, we put a lot of M80s into cow pies. But we never picked them up and flung them at people. We just put M80s on timed long filters or flints or whatever the part that you light, wicks, to time it as close as possible to when our girl cousins would walk by. They would explode because we were awful Southern white trash.
If we just stopped the fraud, we would balance the entire federal budget. Oh my God, that is unbelievable. Saying the quiet part out loud might be uncomfortable, but it is very real and true. Different cultures are different, and that's just a fact. Homogenous societies are generally safer and healthier. That's a fact. And objectively, the value system that we founded our country on, and the people that are real Americans, I don't mean just, oh, hi, I am a guy from fucking Somalia, and I have paperwork that makes me American. No, I mean actual Americans, not paperwork Americans, all right? The people that actually have American values and people that actually are part of America's culture believe in fundamental principles like, you know, thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not steal, you know, stuff like that. So when we import en masse ethnic enclaves of, pardon my French, fucking retards, all right, those guys aren't going to want to assimilate. Well, why should they? They could just completely and utterly fleece us. When you bring a low-trust society into a high-trust society, you just create another low-trust society, man. Duh. It's not racist to acknowledge that the people that couldn't make their countries great will not make our country great. But hey, you're not allowed to say that, because you might offend a 67 IQ inbred that's having sex with his sister to scam their way into the country on some sort of marriage visa fraud. In fact, we should give that person a spot in our fucking government in Minnesota. Now, on the flip side, everything seems to be changing in the California fraud department.
Okay, this is going to be the last bit that I do.
Tired. So Karen Bass, the current mayor of LA, running for re-election, obviously, made this nice video and for her campaign. You can drop off your ballot at voting sectors and drop boxes throughout the city. Voting early is easy.
Hey! Hello, everybody! All right, we're on the countdown!
Look at her, the way she gets to her little gay orgy party as they vote for some more homosexual rage. That's California, California over there. Listen, they have more genders than working fire hydrants over there. So she's out there, you know, doing her campaign. Except there's one little interesting tidbit that you probably don't notice here. She broke federal law. California law prohibits electioneering within 100 feet of a polling place or an outdoor site, including a curbside voting area, at which a voter may cast or drop off a ballot, according to election code 319.5. Now, this is very bad because she literally filmed herself and posted a video of herself committing a crime. These people are like actual retards. It's unbelievable. Now, as you can see, this has 2 million views and 800 likes. No one was interested in seeing that one. Spencer Pratt, the GOAT that's currently running to take her spot, dropped a new Karen Bass violated election law. She's so accustomed to breaking the law with no accountability, she even filmed herself doing it. Well, those days are over. We filed a formal complaint for illegally gaming the election. We must protect our democracy. He's so good. He's so good. It's crazy. All right. Karen has to respond. Spencer's just mad that his supporters are...
Sorry. I want to share this with Yanuka real quick. I just tagged you in this. The next Qatari kid. It's Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly. Oh my God, that's awesome. Anyway.
They're AI cartoons, and we have real Angelinos. We follow the rules. Also, Community noted that she violated the law. It's just so good.
Yeah, we follow the rules. Community noted she actually broke the law.
Pratt's actual campaign is. He is power washing a stencil into the streets of LA. He is power washing.
That is this, yo.
Spencer Pratt.
Yo.
This isn't vandalism. He's literally cleaning specific areas of the city while, you know, dropping a pretty.
I didn't even know this was possible.
Like, this is the greatest campaign I've ever seen in my entire life.
This is absolutely amazing. Absolute
like,
cinema.
She's crashing out so badly, it's insane.
You know, the criminal activity is happening there. And he
oh
said,
no, Drew Carey.
Well,
Drew Carey
gaining such ground and such support by being so organic.
And then Drew Carey said something against him.
The whole elite. The whole elite coming together to squash this guy. This is, in my opinion, the craziest campaign I've ever seen since Trump, 2016. All right, this guy comes out of nowhere, kind of show business. He's just tired. He wants these fucking retards out. and he's winning. He's actually winning.
This person to attack him is Drew Carey.
I'll follow Ami Kozak then.
Spencer Pratfall from mayor of LA needs to get their head out of their ass. I understand being angry, unsatisfied, but at least get behind someone competent, not a serial scammer without a soul or moral compass. Blank this guy already. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and you know, I think part of that is Drew.
Part of that is it's scared. The machine is scared. It's just terrified.
Yeah, Drew's just part of the machine now.
It's just shivering in fear. That's what's happening. So Karen Bass cheered on the destruction of Koreatown in the riots, and now she's calling my Korean supporters AI cartoons. We must stop this Asian hate coming from Mayor Bass. We can't have a racist like her in charge of such a diverse city, literally using leftoid tactics against them.
Thank you, Spencer.
It is pretty brilliant.
Nobody has come to Koreatown before like this.
You racist bigots on the left.
Okay, we need to vote for Spencer Pratt. Don't wait.
That's right. You got to do it. You got to do it. And every single time. He goes on every single show. Left-wing media just shreds in.
This is amazing.
And he just fucking kills them.
What are your plans for the over 40,000 homeless in Los Angeles?
Yeah, it's
his response. Cinema.
Well, they're not homeless. They're drug addicts.
Everything I wanted. I love this guy. I love this guy. He's just so good.
Most of these people are addicted to fentanyl and meth. This isn't Spencer making it up.
Are you saying they don't have homes?
There is places for all of these people.
He's trying to catch him. Are you saying they don't have homes? And if he'll say, yeah, then they're homeless, right? He's trying to get a gotcha.
People to sleep in LA. No matter what anybody tells you, we have housing and shelter for everyone that's living on the street. They are choosing to be on the street because they want to do drugs. They don't want rules. They don't want to listen. They want to have animals to abuse. This idea that they're forced on the street right now is a lie that our city is perpetuating.
Look, everyone's against homeless camps where we just take homeless people and put them in like a giant camp where they can sit all day and concentrate. No, that sounds bad. Or something like that. Everyone's against rounding up the homeless people until you realize that it would make society utopia. This is 40 million views, by the way. That's how viral this went, all right?
Paid $24 billion to house these 40,000 people. There's spots for all of these people. They are choosing, because they're an addict, and you can do fentanyl and sewer meth on the sidewalk with no repercussions.
That's right.
These places are not as, they have to follow some rules. You can't torture a dog in some of these houses. You can't just attack people.
Oh, he's so big. Are you making fun of the misfortune? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I am. I do all the time.
Well, I just released a 9-minute video, so you can.
I think I saw your video.
So, yeah, so it's very detailed.
But it's going to take time to build the facility and money.
No.
How fast do you think you can do it?
These people can literally. I went to Washington and I saw miles of the most insane prefabricated housing and building. I asked all the CEOs of these companies, I said, how long does this take? I met with FEMA and HUD. 3 days. 3 days, and all of this is cheaper than trying to take over.
That's right. And we're gonna take him, and we're gonna round him up, and we're gonna put him in a camp. Oh no, but the poor guy that just wants to live on the street. Too bad. Too bad. It's not his street. I pay taxes that this street is clean. I pay taxes so that there isn't a meth head that's living on my porch. I pay taxes so I don't see a drug addict abusing a dog in my driveway. All right. These people are. I'm sorry to be rude. Are parasites on our society. They should not be treated like kings, where we're not allowed to touch them.
Parasites
That's right.
in the colon of society.
Everyone's against rounding up the homeless until you realize it makes the place paradise. Now, Nithya Raman, all right, who's running against him, said,
oh my God!
Vaccines?
No, I saw this.
Vaccines.
I interviewed Nithya Raman last week, and in the interview with Nithya Raman, she said about you, and I just want to give you the opportunity to respond to this. She said,
I don't need to hear it,
she
so
said
you want to tell me.
She said you don't believe in vaccines, you think that the Sandy Hook massacre was a hoax, and that you're a conspiracy theorist. What's your response to that?
I would say Nithya Raman is a pathological liar that sat just a week ago with an anti-Semite that literally said that 9/11 should happen, Hasan Piker. So we're talking about people.
Thank
so
you, Hasan
based.
Piker, for being the face of the Democrats. Thank you so much.
Hasan Piker doing more for America against his will.
It's unbelievable. I love it so much. You have no idea. Look, man, every bit of popularity.
I just want to say that it would be hilarious if Hasan Piker was actually an op, but he's just retarded. He has done more for America by being such a flagrant piece of shit than most people do in their entire lives. So thank you, Hasan. You're so accidentally cool.
I got to Hasan Piker through my videos shitting on him that put him on the grand stage that made people like, I have to say, you're welcome to the world. Because the fact that this guy is out there campaigning with Democrats is so fucking perfect, it's crazy. It's just a party of terrorist lovers that hate our country.
Those morals, I would say she should check her out because I would never sit next to somebody who has no
he's
problem
so
with
based.
Jews getting.
Look, he doesn't need to sit there and respond to every claim made against him. I don't fucking care what you say. I don't care what you call me. You can call me an istanophobe, and I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. Your boos mean nothing. You are literally sitting with a quote anti-Semite dog shocker that literally said America deserves 9/11.
Getting attacked.
Yeah, and as he said again, he's sitting with a guy who doesn't care if Jews are getting attacked.
Who has no problem with Jews getting attacked.
God damn, he's just firing back with straight heat every time. So he dropped this little video. How do we fix LA? We don't have the money. Well, let's explain it.
The number one question that everybody has for me when they hear my plan is, how can we do that, Spencer? We don't have the money. Let me clue you in on a little secret.
All right,
we have the money. It's just being stolen.
Oh,
you
shit.
pay countless tax dollars.
That's right, we
You're
do.
taxed on your income. You're taxed on your gas. You're taxed on your property.
Dude, I'm
You're
taxed on
taxed
everything.
out every single expense.
Taxed out of the bass.
Just mind you, Californians paid on average $2 or more per gallon than the entire rest of the country. They have the money. It's just being stolen.
Is taxed.
That's right.
Yes, hundreds of restaurants have shut their doors thanks to Karen Bass and Nithya Raman. Businesses are fleeing their terrible leadership, so revenue is decreasing. And I will turn that around. But we have plenty of money in this city. It's just being stolen.
That's
Our streets
right,
are a
baby.
mess. Every day people pop tires. Their suspension is shot. All because our streets are left in utter neglect and disrepair.
Potholes can cause some pretty
I hate
costly
potholes.
car repairs.
One pothole damaged as many as 10 cars.
More than a dozen vehicles damaged, many with blown out tires.
Both of my tires on the passenger side just blew out.
I hate when that happens.
And the bend of my rim, I think bent my lower control arm.
Resident Francisco Garcia collected these hubcaps, evidence of the overnight damage.
The average cost of a pothole-related car repair is about $600.
It's just being stolen.
Something 1 in 10 drivers have to deal with.
We have not invested in our infrastructure, and this is the consequences.
These are beyond just potholes that have
Operation Let Them Speak.
busted open under the negligence of Karen Bass. These are bass holes. But people ask, how can we fix the bass
Yeah, you
holes?
stupid
We
bass
don't have
hole.
the money.
So
We
good.
do have the money.
so
It's just being stolen.
crazy.
I met with the truckers
This
who
is the greatest campaign ever run since Trump 2016. Not even close.
used to do this work for over 100 years for LA, paving our roads until Karen Bass came in.
The city hasn't repaved a single street since last July. They say the city's own data shows 0 miles resurfaced this past fiscal year, and the draft budget proposes 0 miles in the new year.
We're just completely failing at the most basic services at this point, keeping people safe and keeping our
right.
streets functional.
They used to do 600 miles of paving before Karen canceled their federal contract. And now the city just does 60 miles of paving. Also, now Karen Bass only does a fraction of the bass hole repairs that they did before her. Why? Well, in her first year as mayor, she stole the $100 million contract
She
that the
stole
federal
it
government
from
gave to
us.
these truckers.
Oh, is he lying? So sue him.
Gave the money to NGOs profiting off of the homeless drug addicts. We have the money. It's just being stolen.
That's the
What
message.
about
This guy's
public
really good.
safety? We have less firefighters today than we
And
have.
you can tell they don't know what to do with this guy. They don't know what to do with this guy. They'll spread, they'll say he's a conspiracy theorist and that he likes Trump and Trump is a fascist and he's bad and he has a bad history. They're trying everything. It's scared. Look at the machine as it's scared.
In the 1960s,
It lashes
and yet the
out when it's
population of
scared.
LA has doubled. But people ask, how can we hire more firefighters? We don't have the money. We do have the money. It's just being stolen. Right now, LAFD engines are so overwhelmed with responding to overdoses and rubbish fires, medicals, and arson fires coming entirely from the addicts on our streets. Because of Karen Bass' policies with the city attorney, LAFD has to send out an ambulance and a Type 1 engine to every overdose, every sprained ankle, every toothache. They are sending those big red trucks that you see fighting fires, all to shove Narcan up a homeless guy's nose. Those engines chew up about 30 gallons of diesel going on unnecessary runs.
If he calls for a stub toe, toothaches, we do it all. Whatever it is, we're here.
Being a paramedic, we're the busiest resource on the fire department. I go on 15 to 20 runs a day. There's only 24 hours in a day, so if you're going on 20 calls...
Why is his
you gotta do
mustache
the math.
sideways?
Across the department...
Did you see that?
Okay, so if you're going on
Look at that.
20 calls, you got...
This guy's either making a really hard face that he really wants to catch on, or he's having a stroke.
Let's do the math.
Across the department, we're wasting over $7 million every year on wasted fuel. Not to mention all the wear and tear and extra miles on these engines that should have been retired.
I thought they cared about the environment.
To Mexico 10 years ago that are now breaking down, crashing, leaving us all in danger. Before the Palisades fire, the fire chief warned Karen Bass that they were dangerously underfunded and unable to keep Angelino safe. What did Karen Bass do? She cut the fire department budget by $17 million and gave it to, you guessed it, NGOs profiting off homeless drug addicts.
Budget cuts have, quote, severely limited the department's capacity to prepare for, train for, and respond to large-scale emergencies,
Hold on.
including wildfires. You sent that
Hold
warning about these budget cuts. We had a team on the ground, a crew there,
I didn't see this
and
part.
witnessed number of homes burned
Something's-
to the ground,
Fucked up, dude.
and there was not a fire truck.
That's so
in
fucked
sight.
up.
How did that happen?
Is that a lady?
There's a $17 million.
Oh my God, that's a lady.
How did that happen?
Immediately from that point,
Democrats.
I had to make some tough decisions.
Scammers.
Would that $17 million that had been cut from your budget have made a difference in this fight?
I mean, would
Yes, so I would say yes. We were
$17 million
limited to a
make a
certain
difference in
factor,
your
yes.
fight?
We did exactly what we could with what we had.
We have the money, it's just being stolen. People ask, how can we treat the homeless? We don't have the money. We do have the money. It's just being stolen. Karen Bass and Nithya Raman have sunk billions of dollars into the homeless problem.
Yeah.
But it's all being
She looks like Al Franken doing her Fire Marshal Bill impression.
wasted on dubious
you know, you know.
NGOs that increase drug use, hand out needles and crack pipes, and actually give drugs to the addicts on the streets of LA.
right.
A developer bought a property for homeless housing at $11 million. Days later, the city paid him $27.3 million.
Oh my God,
a $16 million
nightmare.
flip. No new carpets, no pool
That's
addition,
right.
just straight up fraud.
This is a
The
property.
billionaire got richer. The country got the city got richer. The NGOs got richer. Zero homeless people actually admitted.
Flip in West LA in the neighborhood of Cheviot Hills that was highlighted in a federal prosecutor criminal indictment announcement.
Weird.
Actually, in this investor, Stephen Taylor, who purchased a property in West LA, purchased it for $11 million. He was at the same time selling it to Weingart Center for $27 million.
That's crazy.
Financed by taxpayers. The appraisal used to justify the price had inaccurate information. There was inaccurate information about the ownership of the property, and we also found that Mayor Bass's
This should
office,
really
there were some
infuriate
emails
you.
from the city
It's
indicating
unreal.
that her
It's unreal how like the actual Democrat elite that claims they're fighting for like the little people are just becoming rich off raping us. It's so wild.
Yeah, and
her
frankly,
office was,
my butt hurts.
had a big role in the selection of this property.
And this is just one of the many projects that needs to be audited and investigated.
A prominent homeless service provider, the Weingart Center, has been awarded over $100 million in taxpayer funds despite years of failing to comply with federal audit mandates.
How did
When
that
we asked
happen?
the state controller's office,
How did that happen?
they say they don't review audits from nonprofits at all.
We have the money. It's just being stolen.
Yeah, that's where we're at, man. Just complete and utter humiliation. All right, so Lisa Rinner, all right, all the woke celebrity retards, they're all coming out because it's scared.
What's
the
going
machine
on
is
with her
scared.
face?
They're terrified of this man. All right, so this is her talking about how Spencer Pratt shouldn't be mayor.
Very political.
I am. That's true.
So who should be the next mayor of LA?
That is a good question.
That's why I'm asking you.
She looks like she's gonna play Lion-O in a live-action Thundercats remake. Like, look at this mouth. The white around it and the fullness of the lips, artificially, of course. She looks like all she needs is some fur and some cat ears and the Sword of Omens, and she'll be primed and ready to play Lion-O.
I am going to say, I don't know yet. Not a reality star, though. I'm sorry. I love him, but we've already done that. We're not going to do that again.
Do you think there's a good chance that he will be the next mayor of LA?
It could be. I mean, he's got power behind him, it seems, but I don't know.
Why are so many?
He's got power behind him, which is why literally the entire elite state.
By the way, this
billionaires
is
are all
Variety.
slandering him
The people
every
who keep
place that they
asking
can.
how gay is this newest Disney project, whether it be Marvel or Star Wars. Is this the gayest Star Wars you've ever seen?
I'm a reality person.
Who cares?
You wouldn't want me as mayor. Really.
That's true. I mean, look at those lips.
I love him. I think he's amazing.
Sure,
I just think we did that. Let's have somebody that's already been mayor.
This is the most retarded argument of all time. Let's get a guy who's already part of the corrupt establishment to be mayor and continue to fuck.
Like, it looks like she got those lips with the idea of being able to to suck a meh. But it'll end up being all tough and leathery, like sexing a whale's blowhole. Ironically enough.
Things up. Wow, I'm really glad we were able to get one of these out-of-touch Hollywood elites in the gated community talking about what LA actually needs. Wow. So anyway, so she's shitting on him for being a reality star.
Like there's nothing real about that face.
Fucking response coming out of the stratosphere with this nuke.
Okay,
But,
this will
dude,
be it.
This one dropped from orbit.
You know, you're known as a reality TV star. Do you think that that is, in your campaign for Los Angeles mayor to run the biggest city in California, is that a label that you embrace? Is that hurtful to your campaign, or does it help, you think?
I mean, the reality, pun intended, is that was from 20 years ago. And if we look at what Karen Bass was doing 20 years ago, she was in Cuba learning how to make bombs with the people that bombed Capitol Hill. So if we're looking at backgrounds, I'm pretty proud of what I was doing at 20 on reality television, even though it was, you know, I may not have been the most likable character. It was still TV versus trying to destroy America and going to Cuba 20 times and praising Fidel Castro. So against my opponent, my background's pretty strong.
Bro.
Yo.
He's unstoppable. They don't know.
Yo.
They don't know what to do with him. You know, they'll ask him a question, and he'll just be like, "Oh yeah," like unlike her, right? But bro, Nithya Raman is freaking out.
We need to make sure that when you call
this is the socialist opponent.
911, someone picks up the phone quickly, and someone shows up when you call, and that it's the right person that comes when you call.
That's right. Nithya Raman says, when you call 911, someone should answer right away. 300 likes. Quote tweeted, Nithya Raman defund the police. It's absolutely fucking over. Vote for Spencer Pratt. It's time to take our country back, and it's
absolutely amazing.
Citizens and people that aren't part of some established, infinite, elite bureaucracy. All right, it's us.
The internet is forever.
Break free of the mind rape and indoctrination, and we are going to take our country back from these swindlers, frauds, cheats, and foreigners. We have the money. It's just being stolen. So Caleb.
All right. Guys, that's going to be it for today. I'd let time get away from me. I have to run. But I very much appreciate my two loves in life, Yanuka and Shapeshifter. You guys, you're what I do it for these days. I very much appreciate it. Let's grow our little army here. Seriously, though, it means the world that y'all come in here and y'all have the engagement going and everything. The more that y'all talk, trust me, the more I'll absolutely have to say. But in the meantime, we're going to shut it off there. Guys, I've been Alfie Animus. You guys have been awesome. This has been The Associated Guest, and